Just like that, the 2025 NBA Finals is tied at 3-3, and we get a Game 7 in what has been one of the best NBA Finals of the last 10 years.
First Game 7 since 2016. God damn, this is special. I am so damn hyped.
Before we start talking about the NBA Finals, if you haven't already, make sure you leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. Starting off Game 5 in Oklahoma City, almost always the most pivotal game of any NBA playoff series. Winner of this game almost always goes on to win the whole thing. And before the game started, we got a graphic from ESPN about the massive differences in Tyrese Haliburton's numbers when the Pacers win versus when they lose. Just remember that. It's going to come back at the very end. Also before the game, ABC broadcasted the starting lineups for the first time since 2013. And look, ESPN and ABC have been getting crushed for their, let's say, lackluster presentation of the NBA Finals.
It's fucking terrible.
And while, look, we still got a long ways to go, this was a nice touch. Like, doesn't this just enhance the viewing experience? You get hyped up watching the players get introduced instead of Whopper, Whopper, Double Whopper for like the 5th fucking time. Like, so much better this was.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a clip on Twitter. It was the Heat's starting lineup from 2013, like back when they would show their intros and just the hype, the nostalgia that hit there. Please add more of this. It can make the NBA Finals even better than what we get on the court. Also, it was funny. Miles Turner, Texas guy, had to get the loudest boos in the entire arena.
In Oklahoma.
Yeah, of course. Thunder kept the same starting lineup. Hartenstein stayed in there. And the first few minutes of this game was just straight offense. It was 13-12 for the Thunder after 3 minutes. And between the two teams, you had only 2 misses. Unfortunately for the Pacers, though, they really cooled down after that. Scored 12 points in the first 3 minutes, and then you have 10 the rest of the quarter. And again, it kind of felt like game 1 of the series early on. Tons of turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah, 7 first quarter turnovers compared to only 1 for the Thunder. Big reason why the Pacers went 4.5 minutes where they only scored 2 points. And also, it's just hilarious that Rick Carlisle spent the last couple days, buttering up Scott Foster and the officials, only to get a technical after the refs miss an obvious foul on Lou Dort. So,
yeah, should have been a foul.
100% should have been a foul, but, brown nosing doesn't always work. Right. Thunder also finally started to shoot the 3 well. The Pacers have been doing a great job of not just limiting the Thunder's 3-point makes, but kind of just forcing them off the line to begin with. The Thunder had been averaging about 10 less 3-point attempts per game in the finals than they had in the rest of their playoff run. Well, they were 4 of 6 in the first quarter, and it was a big reason why they jumped out to that big lead. Keep in mind, the Thunder only hit 3 3-pointers in all of game 4.
Pacers had some nice first quarter plays. Benedict Mathurin had that chase down block where he came out of nowhere. Kind of honestly a little bit LeBron vibes.
A little bit, yeah.
Didn't quite get as high, but still just out of nowhere with that block. But the middle of the first, that's when disaster struck for Indiana. Tyrese Haliburton goes down on a drive with 6:50 left in the quarter, and he comes up hobbling, clearly injured himself there, goes back to the locker room. I mean, does come back, eventually plays, but for the rest of the game is a little bit timid. Wasn't necessarily limping the entire game, but something was definitely up there. We found out after the game it was a calf strain. He's going to have an MRI here soon to see if he can play game 6. I mean, I have to assume he's going to play game 6. He said, if I can walk, he's going to play, but
I believe him.
Yeah, just brutal to go down with injury, your best player in this situation.
Yeah, Pacers trail 32-22 after 1. Second quarter, game got even more away from them. They kept the turnovers down, but they were undone by shooting 7 of 25. Thunder weren't much better, but Jalen Williams continued what would end up being a breakout playoff performance for him. 10 points in the second quarter. He had 16 at halftime. Shea also 13 points in the first half as well for the Thunder. Meanwhile, no one for the Pacers could really get anything going. Siakam had 10 and Nembhard had 7. That was really it. And Haliburton, like you just mentioned, 0 points, 0 of 5 shooting. In fact, his only stats at halftime were 2 assists, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 1 foul, and a -16 plus minus. Like you mentioned, he looked a little timid, a little passive. He's not a shooter by nature. It's not in his nature to go out and shoot the ball 15 times in a half. But 0 of 5 shooting in the first half when your team is falling behind, it just wasn't a great look.
Luckily for the Pacers, Pacers, they got like the best backup point guard in the NBA. TJ McConnell had a legacy quarter in the third quarter, 13 points, 6 of 8 shooting, basically single-handedly dragged the Pacers back in this game. I mean, not only did he have the 13 in the third alone, this basically happened all at the end of the quarter in the last 5 minutes, and it was mid-range jumpers. It was driving layups. He had that crazy and one with Caruso on his back. Like, just an incredible series for him. Unfortunately for him, though, J-Dub and Shea kind of matched him beat for beat. J-Dub had 13 in the third as well, and then Shea chipped in another 9. But the Pacers were able to get back into this game, only trailing by 8 going into the fourth.
Yeah, and when the fourth started, like, the Pacers, they continued to kind of just chip away at the lead over the next couple minutes, and it kind of felt like the inverse of Game 4. You know, Game 4, the Thunder spent so long chipping away at the lead, and then finally took the lead in the fourth quarter. This was the opposite. Pacers chipping away at the lead, and, you know, maybe could finally take the lead in the fourth quarter, but on the next possession, Pacers can't corral the rebound after they force Jalen Williams into a miss, and the ball finds its way back to J-Dub, who nails a 3, and then a bad pass by Andrew Nembhard on the next possession, who, by the way, had a couple ducks he threw in this game in terms of passes. Like, I don't know if it's just laziness or miscommunication or whatever, but he had some bad passes in this game that led to turnovers, and Cason Wallace gets a breakaway dunk, and now the lead's back up to 7. Thunder would go on a 13-4 run behind Shea and Jalen Williams, and they blew the game open, and with 2 minutes to go, Indiana waved the white flag. Thunder win 120-109. Jalen Williams finishes with a career playoff high 40 points, while Shea chips in 31 and 10 assists to lead OKC within 1 win of their first ever championship. And yes, I said first ever championship, because if you're a Thunder fan and you try to claim those Seattle championships, as a Portlander, I don't have a lot of love for the city of Seattle, but I will stand with my Pacific Northwest brethren on this one.
Jalen Williams, though, was just incredible. That dude earned himself a lot of money. I mean, he was already probably getting a max, but this completely guaranteed it. And then you had nice contributions. Aaron Wiggins, another good game. Cason Wallace, really good. Lou Dort, they shoot 10 of 17 from 3. Siakam did all he could. He had 28 points, was great to start the fourth. TJ McConnell, as we mentioned, was just brilliant. Another great game from him. But the big story, of course, it's Tyrese Halliburton. You got to factor in the injury, but 4 points on 0 of 6 shooting, had 6 assists and 7 boards. One of the worst performances ever by a star player in the NBA Finals, like a leading star player. It's the worst that comes to mind.
I mean, I think given like his stature in the league, I still think maybe LeBron's like 8 points against the Mavericks.
Yeah, that's true.
In the 2011 Finals, because yeah, as good as Halliburton is, he's not even remotely close to what LeBron is considered. So I would still say that's probably worse, but I do want to give him some grace for the injury, because I can't imagine it's easy to play with a strained calf.
Right.
And also, like, Halliburton, he's not like a takeover scorer, right? With all the people, you know, saying like, oh, he's not scoring enough. Well, that's not his game. You know, he's Steve Nash, he's Jason Kidd. At the same time, though, 0 made field goals in only 6 attempts. Like, yeah, he's not a score first guy, but he's not Rajon Rondo, right? Like, if the 2010 Celtics were struggling offensively, they wouldn't be like, hey, Rondo, go get us 2 points, right? Like, Halliburton is still capable of that. He's just not capable of giving you 40, right? And the fact that he could never, you know, get a bucket to stop the bleeding or get to the free throw line more to stop the bleeding, it was a night to forget for him.
Yeah, and initially after this game ends, like, obviously OKC has all the momentum. They're 1 win away from winning the title. This is the first time the Pacers have been down in a series this entire playoff run. But at the same time, you know, on paper, it's like they're coming back home. You're still 2 wins away. But what really throws things off is the Halliburton injury. We get the news today as we record this on Tuesday. That's the calf strain. He's going to have this MRI. I mean, it looks like the Pacers are cooked just because of that. Without that, it's like, okay, this Pacers team, who knows? They keep coming back. They could still do it. But with Halliburton, even if he's like 80% of what he usually is, that's just a brutal injury for them.
So a couple hours before Game 6, it was announced that Tyrese Halliburton was going to be playing. Like we mentioned, it's something that we thought was going to happen, although it was rumored in the days prior that the Pacers were preparing to play without him. Never really bought into that, but Shams confirmed a few hours before the game that he was going to give it a go. Didn't look good for the Pacers early, though. OKC jumped out to a 10-2 lead. Indy wasn't really turning the ball over or anything like they had in the prior games, but they just couldn't hit a shot. But as the quarter went on, the Pacers settled in and they flipped the script on Oklahoma City. They were a little bit 3 happy, but their shots were falling, so it's all right. right? And their defense forced the Thunder into 5 first quarter turnovers, and the Pacers went up by as much as 9.
Yeah, Halliburton started the game, you know, shooting was a little bit shaky, 1 of 5 early on, but it was nice to see him aggressive. Definitely looked a lot better on the calf this game. OKC had a nice close to the quarter, so it was a 3-point game going into the second. But in the second, like, those same problems haunted OKC. They were sloppy with the basketball. Pacers pushed their lead up. Hallie and TJ McConnell were hooping. TJ McConnell, of course, still stealing the ball in their side of the court. Like, I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he did. He had that huge one where he passed
You'd think it'd be on the scouting report by this point.
Yeah, exactly. But somehow still just a ghost out there to them. And OKC's bench was just a ghost out there. 5 minutes into the second, got outscored 18-3.
Yeah, I mean, the sloppiness was just a theme the entire game for the Thunder. I mean, they were turning the ball over. They had lackadaisical passes. They were like spinning into double teams, getting stripped of the ball. Chet even missed like a wide open alley-oop, which is something that he converts, 999 times out of 1,000. Something he never misses. Leads to back-to-back Aaron Nesmith threes that pushes the Pacers lead up to 13. Again, more Thunder turnovers, more Hallie three-pointers, a thunderous poster dunk by Siakam. Literally had me screaming at my TV, and then a buzzer beater by Siakam, and it's a 22-point lead at halftime. Just not at all how I thought this game was gonna go.
Then we had the start of the third, which might have been the worst basketball I've seen played all season.
It was bad, man.
Neither team could shoot. Nothing was really going on. The Pacers were able to extend their lead up to 28. Thunder did show some life. They cut it down to 18. I think there was like 4.5 minutes to go in the third.
To be honest, I was really worried for the Pacers at this point.
Yeah, I thought the Thunder maybe could make it a game at that point, but a great close to the quarter by the Pacers. That awesome play where I think it was Nembhard tapped it to Ben Shepherd, immediately gets the 3 up, beats the buzzer to cap off the quarter. Pacers lead up to 30 going into the fourth, and at that point, Thunder waved the white flag. Game over. Eventually, the Pacers win 108-91. It really wasn't that close. Forced game 7 in the process. The game definitely didn't go as expected. I mean, I thought OKC would win, maybe close, wasn't really sure what to think, but Tyrese Halliburton, you gotta be happy as a Pacers fan. Really, besides that one floater where he had that like left-handed floater, jumped off the left foot, that was like the only thing I really noticed. Besides that, still doing his step back threes, the no-look passes, basically looked 100%, was probably like 90% out there.
Yeah, he didn't have an amazing game statistically, but those threes he had in the first half was a huge spark for them. And like you said, just his movement, his, ability to change directions, his crossover, everything looked pretty much fine. And also, he only played 23 minutes and now he gets 2 extra days of rest. So really, this game could not have gone any better if you're a Pacer fan. I got no idea what to think at this point. It's like, I still think the Thunder are the better team. They're going to have home court behind them, but that was such an emphatic performance by the Pacers. They're going to have all the momentum in the world. And just like this series has been so evenly matched that like, I'm honestly like maybe going to flip a coin and that's who I'll pick to win this game. I picked Thunder in 6, man, but I'm so torn even right now as to who to pick.
I mean, you compared this series to the Nuggets Thunder series at one point a couple videos ago. I'm kind of going to go with that. Thunder were down 2-1 in this series, just like that Nuggets series.
So you think the Thunder are going to win game 7 by like 30 something?
Maybe not by 30, but I think, it's a close game early on. I don't know if they'll necessarily blow them out, but I think the Thunder ultimately win maybe by like 10, 12, 15. But you can't doubt the Pacers at this point. They've already won in Paycom Center. They somehow keep winning games. Every time you think they're dead, they bounce back. So I wouldn't be shocked if they win, but at the moment, I still got to stick with the Thunder, even after that disastrous game 6.
I'm going to buy into the Pacers, like devil magic, the satanic magic, whatever they got going. I mean, like, this is like prime Kansas City Chiefs level of like devil magic and just witchcraft.
But what happened? What happened in the Super Bowl?
They got 2 championships before that in a row. So, you know what? I'm just going to buy into it. I think Indiana goes into Oklahoma City. Somehow they get it done. And Pacers and Thunder fans, both of you can sleep easy tonight because one of us picked the Thunder, the other picked the Pacers. Both teams getting cursed. You got nothing to worry about. So if the Thunder win, then you guys can be mad at Ben. If the Pacers win, be mad at me. Either way, so excited for this game. That's the video, guys. Who do you got in Game 7? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.